We're live. Can you guys see me and hear me? Okay, perfect. Okay, so today we're gonna be learning how to draw using this book. I'll show you guys. So we're gonna be using this book to learn how to draw. I'm not gonna show the inside of the book as I mentioned before. Maybe just kind of like a sneak peek in case you guys want to get the book yourselves. You can purchase it on Amazon. I did include the link in my bio on there in the description below. And we're gonna be doing a series. So today's like episode 1. And then I'm going to be going live every Wednesday. But I might, like next week, I will do another part of this series and I'll do episode 2. And then the following week, maybe I'll change it up and do something different. And then I'll kind of like keep going back to this series to kind of interchange it between different stuff, where maybe I'll do some more coloring or I'll do some painting or other art activities. And then yeah, we'll just continue doing this one until we finish the whole thing. It's a 30-day thing, so it'll probably be, well, I'm not sure if it would be 30 days specifically, because I might do, like, for example, two of the things today, because it's like, to start off is so basic, it's pretty simple and easy. So maybe it'll be less than 30 days altogether, just because at the beginning I think it'll take a lot less time, and maybe it'll get a lot harder towards the end, where I will just need to do one chapter per live stream. But yeah, I think today we're gonna start with the first couple of pages. And the book does have like the drawings that they want you to do and samples of it. They have samples of other people that have also done it, which is really cool. So you get to see like what the book is telling you to do, but you also get to see samples of other people that have done the book before, and then there's drawings of them. And I'll just show you guys a quick sample, like of the, like at the beginning, it's like you can read there's a lot of like descriptions and ideas and tips to kind of get learning. And then, so the very first lesson is the sphere. And so I'm gonna like look through it real quick. I have done this one in the past because I did start this book a while ago, like by myself, but I only got up to like maybe lesson 4 and I never finished it. So that's why I decided to just kind of do it live. And the next time I'll probably just read the actual descriptions before I go live, and then I'll go live and do the actual drawings. And so here, I'll show you guys just the example at the very end so today we're going to do spheres, and then I guess we're going to draw an apple. And then at the very end, it shows you an example of a student, someone that did it. And so the whole book is going to be like that. So yeah, I really recommend that you guys get the book yourselves if you want to also learn. You can follow along while we do this live stream, or you can just buy the book and do it on your own. You don't have to join the live streams every time that I do it either. It's totally up to you. So yeah, we're going to start off with the first one. And I'll turn the camera down so you guys can see what I'm drawing while I'm drawing it. And yeah, right before we start, I guess I'll just let you guys know real quick, in case you guys are interested in joining me in more events. I do host events on Zoom where it's not necessarily specifically learning how to do art or draw, but we do play with art. So we do explore a little bit with art and use it for self-growth and self-care and self-development. So if you guys are interested in doing that, I believe I also included that link in the description. I do love doing those. I guide and I host it every single month, and we do a different topic where we discuss the different topics, and we do some writing based on the topic. We do an art piece, we do some body movement as well. And Monster WB, I found you. Nice to see you. Hi, welcome. Lillian, hi. Lillian, oh, thank you so much, Lillian. So yeah, so sorry, I got distracted. Oh yeah, and so we do some body movement. We also do some meditations in those hangouts, and it's completely free. So if anybody does want to hang out, I do it once a month, and it's completely free, and participation is not necessary. So you guys don't have to participate if you're a little shy. And our next event, our next hangout is going to be on March 29th. You can sign up using the link, which I also provided in the description below, or you can find it in my Patreon, or you can find it in my Instagram account, or yeah. So, and if you do sign up and using the link below, you get added to the email list, and I just sent out the Zoom link and the information of the stuff that we do every single month. So I hope you guys join me. It's really fun. I love doing it. I've been doing it for over a year, and I hope to continue doing it for a very long time. So yeah, I think that's good for now. I think we can probably start off doing our first drawing. So the first drawing is going to be basically, the first lesson is the simplest. We start with the basics. Raza, hi, beautiful. How are you? Where are you from? Hi, Raza. I am originally from Colombia, but I currently live in Canada. Daniel, hello, sorry I'm late. No worries, you're not really late. I did start a couple minutes late, I believe. I was trying to get everything set up, so you're not really that late. So you're all good. Thanks for joining. I'm just happy to have you here. Raza, I am Pakistan and Dubai. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, job in Dubai. You work in Dubai? That's really cool. Well, welcome. Thanks for being here. I don't know, you guys can either just watch, but if you want to, you can draw with me. Just follow along and draw. Especially this first lesson is going to be very simple and very easy to do, because we're just learning the very basic switches, shadows. So we're going to start off with a circle. Karen, I am Raza. Soroush, hi. Karen, yes, I am from Dubai. Lillian, I'm a YouTuber too. Oh, cool. What do you do on YouTube? Daniel, good thing, because it's classic of me to not only be oblivious but classically late. Oh, no worries. That's why I start off just like the beginning of it, just with the introductions and saying hi and waiting for people to kind of get here. So we haven't even started the drawing, so you're technically not even late. You're good. Lovely. I am Raza. Lillian, I do like get ready with my story times. Oh, okay, cool. That's neat. I love that. Okay, so shall we get started? If you guys are gonna draw with me, Soroush says, what are you doing? We are drawing today. We're gonna learn how to draw. Hi, Salma. Welcome. So let's get this started. So I'm gonna adjust the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing on the paper, and then we'll learn together. Okay. Okay, here we are. So we're gonna, there you go. Hopefully you guys can see okay. I made this little like booklet real quick before we started. I believe I didn't even count properly, but I'm almost certain I have the 30 pages here for all of the lessons. And then we're going to start off with just doing a circle, a plain circle. Okay, we'll start off here at the top. If you guys aren't good at circles and you want to make a better circle, you can just like use something else, like and go around it. I'm just gonna do freestyling the circle. I'll go gentle just in case I do want to fix the circle and make it more round, then I'm able to by going a little lighter. Okay, it's not a perfect circle, but that's okay because that's not the point of this exercise. Okay, so Fatima, so nice, thank you. What do you want to draw? Says Sorush. I am learning from this book. We're gonna be learning how to draw, and I'm following along what this book says. So that's what we will be drawing today. Daniel says I haven't drawn since earlier this afternoon. It took me all my willpower to get even 1% done. Lately, my will to finish what I started begins to fade. Why do you think that is? Do you feel like maybe you've hit a point where you've burned down? Like, are you not enjoying yourself as much? Or why do you feel like you need willpower to draw? I was actually reading this book that talked about like creating habits and like our unconscious mind, and I'm also reading a book about how to learn how to organize as someone with ADHD, and those two actually have touched on two different like similar things. I mean, one very similar thing, which is about like motivation and willpower, and it talks about like if you need a lot of willpower, like that takes up a lot of mental energy. So right here I'm just doing the shadow. So in the book it explains that you have to pick a light source. So the light is going to be coming from up here. So our light is over here. Light. And so if the light is hitting this way, then our shadow is going to be over here. So I'm just slightly doing the shadow here. So yeah, I talked about like willpower and about how when we feel like we need to be motivated and to do stuff, maybe we're not doing something that we enjoy, because when it's something that we enjoy, it comes a lot easier for us. So maybe you'll have to like figure out why it is that you need to motivate yourself so much and need that willpower to do that. Maybe you're not drawing the things that you want to draw, or maybe you're lacking energy for other reasons, like maybe you just need more vitamin D, because in the wintertime we also lack that, or you know what I mean? Just like Daniel says, that is a good guide to improve skills. Daniel, I truly don't know, Miss Lily. I think I have tackled too many projects at once, and in one of them has given me some issues. Okay, that could also be another reason. It could be just you're overwhelmed with how much you have put on your plate. That makes sense. Okay, so basically, see, this is why I said at the beginning that we're probably going to be doing more than one lesson, because this is basically it. We're just... that's it. This is the first lesson, you guys. We're just doing a circle, and we are doing the shadow, and then we can kind of blend it in so it looks smoother and nice. And that's it. We've created a sphere, and we have created some shadow. Gonna make this shadow a little bit darker, and then the closer it is to the object, the darker it is. And then it gets a little lighter farther away. Does that make sense? Okay. And then in this lesson, we're still in lesson 1 though, so now that we've kind of learned how to do a little bit of shadow work. Next, it's asking us to draw an apple and then use the shadow, what we've learned from the book, because it has more written instructions in it. It tells us to use what we've learned to draw the apple and create the shading on the apple. So we'll do that. I'm gonna put some music here. Daniel says it's looking nice. Thank you. And this is very simple, so anybody can do this. Okay, so we've got our sphere. Next, we're going to draw an apple. So in the book it does say to take an apple and take a photo of the apple with the light shining from one direction. So I'm gonna grab an apple. So I've got my apple. And then I'm gonna draw my apple. Oh, my bad, sorry. Daniel says, are you a self-taught artist or did someone show you the way when you were younger? No, I'm a self-taught artist. I just learned by watching. This is the first time actually that I technically decide to learn from a book. And I'm doing it because my brother actually was the one that recommended it. He did a video on his YouTube channel, Perpetual Growth, and he sorry, I got distracted just looking at the book. And he did a video learning how to do this whole book and learning how to draw in 30 days, and he recommended it. And so I started like doing it, and I only got to like lesson, I don't know, 3 or 4. And I never continued. So, and I've been wanting to, and I've just kept kind of like delaying it. So I'm thinking that, I mean, I thought that maybe this would be more motivating to just do it on a live stream. And so yeah, this is the first time that I kind of decide to learn from a book. Daniel says, that is great. I had my dad teach me when I was around 2, then became self-taught in the early teenage years. Oh, that's really cool. Is your dad an artist then? What does he do? Make it a little thinner here at the bottom. problem is that I'm kind of looking at two references, which I probably shouldn't be doing. But it's just the apple that I have there. It's has the light source coming from the wrong place. And so I'm using a photo from the book and I'm using my own apple. He was, but he's no longer one, says Daniel. He made amazing drawings back in the day, even handed some out to people who personally requested them. Oh, cool. Like, what kind of drawings? Did he do portraits, or... This is honestly a relaxing stream. Everything just feels calming. It gives me a good mental break. Thank you. Oh, thank you. That means a lot. It's good feedback, for sure. He did portraits, drawing, movie drawings, biblical art, and more. Okay, cool. Daniel says, there's this channel named Cartooning Club How to Draw, and it helped me spike in art skills, more specifically with facial symmetry and shading. Very great channel. Well, that's really cool. When I was actually putting the book on my Amazon account, for whatever reason, it only lets you post if you have more than one product there. So I couldn't post just this one book. So I ended up having to add another book. So I went and was looking at more books. And I found a book that I want to do after I finish doing this series. And the book is actually about learning how to do portraits and how to draw faces and stuff, which I think is one of my weaknesses because I'm not very good at drawing faces and struggle with symmetry. So yeah, I'm planning to do that one after I do this one. Daniel, I first discovered that channel years ago, but wouldn't follow one of his tutorials until early 2023. Nice. I'll have to look into it. Okay, so I'm gonna do the shadow of the apple. Daniel says it becomes easier the more you do it. The key is to start simple. One of the biggest challenges an artist can face when it comes to drawing faces is making sure the eyes are perfectly aligned and symmetrical. Oh my god, yes, I struggle so much with the eyes. I'm just glad I at least finished 3 months worth of work last night and paid off well. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's definitely good to start with like the basics and the simple stuff, so that's why I really wanted to do this book, because I've been learning how to draw on my own for a while, and I never really wanted to go to school for it, but I think that maybe picking up this book and stuff like it, I think it's going to be very useful to improve my skills, because I do want to get better. And also, like, when you learn one skill, you can transfer, like, there's transferable skills, and I do a lot of different kind of art, and so the more I learn in one area, the more it'll help me in other areas and just become more creative overall. How's my apple looking? Gonna grab a tissue to do this smudging, so I don't continue to do my fingers, because I have more control with something smaller. And it looks so much more smooth, beautiful. Okay, I think we did good. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it there. I like how it turned out. As I go and add more. But since it's our first lesson, I think I'm just gonna, yeah, leave it where it's at. And then we're gonna move on to lesson number 2. I'm thinking that in the second lesson, I could probably do it down here and not use, I don't think we need to change pages. What is this? So this one is lesson 1. I'll write it down on here. Lesson 1. Okay, and what's today? March 19th, I believe. I think it is. I'm gonna write it here. Okay. So we can move on to the next lesson. So the next lesson is called Overlapping Spheres. Okay, so I'm gonna, okay, this one, it has quite a bit of explanations on it. So I'm just gonna read it real quick. I don't know if I should leave this facing down or just maybe I'll face myself. In the meantime, at least just while I read it real quick. We can talk for a little bit while I read this. So this one is going to be overlapping spheres, which is very simple. It's basically just doing the same thing that we did in the first one. Okay. Now always keep in mind the position of your light source. That matters a lot when it comes to the shadow and the shading. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty simple. We're just gonna do 2 spheres next to each other. So we're only gonna see half of one of the other spheres. And then Okay. Oh, I have this. This is, I can use this to, okay. I think we can go back to that. So hopefully you guys are learning along with me. We've done pretty basic stuff, but it's really exciting to do the basics and just to see like how beautiful even just a sphere can look, because the shadow work really makes a difference. And so now, yeah, so I guess now we're just gonna do 2 spheres, and then the final drawing that we'll do at the end is going to be 2 tennis balls. And then do the shadow on that. It's not as exciting, but maybe, how long have I been doing this? 36 minutes. So I'm thinking that maybe, I don't know if I will go into lesson 3 after this, or maybe we'll just talk for a little bit, because lesson 3 will take a lot longer for sure. Yeah, no, lesson 3 is gonna take much longer, so we'll just do 2 lessons today. And then we'll just chat for a bit. So today might be a little bit shorter. Okay, I'm very excited for lesson 3. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I've only gone as far as the 3rd lesson. I haven't done more than that. So yeah, let's do lesson 2. Let's do the spheres. I don't think I need to read much of that. It's a lot of stuff to read. So if you do want the book, I highly recommend it, because there's a lot of different explanations. This is just a basic drawing that you're seeing, but in the book it explains so much more than just the shadow work. Like, it tells you the size of the object, whether it's going to make things look farther away or closer, like make it bigger if you want it closer, make it smaller if you want it to look farther away. It talks about the overlapping of it. It talks about like little nooks and crannies where you can do some shadow work, where it'll make it look even more realistic. So yeah, it gives you a lot of information, which is really cool. And then so for next lesson from now on, I will read the stuff before I go live, so you're not just like watching my face while I'm reading this, and I feel more prepared. But yeah, for now we'll go into the sphere. Let's make this beautiful. So that's what I've got so far. And now on to lesson 2. Okay. Yes, it's March 19th. It's like for almost every stream I go to eventually become the only one who doesn't stop talking. Oh, don't worry about it. I like it. It's good to have someone to talk to, and not everyone likes to comment. So, but they like to watch. Sorry, I'm just trying to drink my smoothie and I can't drink it. Okay, lesson 2. Yeah, some people like to watch, they don't like to comment. But they also enjoy other people commenting. Like, I think I'm one of those people. I don't watch too many live streams, but the ones that I do, I just watch while I'm like doing something else, like working out, or I'm like not on my phone while I watch it. I watch it on my TV, so I don't really comment. But I do enjoy watching the live streams. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit smaller just because I want space down here to do the tennis balls. So we're gonna do 1 circle. Maybe that's too small. Am I going too small? Should move that up. Okay. I'm glad I can put my talkative nature to good use somewhere. Yes, You're welcome to use it on these live streams all you want. I think he makes it a lot more entertaining. It gives me stuff to talk about too, because if you weren't here talking, I would be mumbling to myself. And that is not nearly as entertaining. Okay, so once we're done doing the circle, then there's going to be a circle behind it, so you just do part of the circle. You don't do the full circle. You can only see part of the circle. Okay. Okay, and so basically we're going to do the same thing with this circle as we did with that one. But now we're going to include the circle behind it. Let's blend this a little bit. Okay, and so one of the things that I talked about was like doing a little bit of shadow in between here. I don't know if that's too small and you guys can't see it. I feel like next time I'll try to do the drawings a lot bigger. And we'll use a full page for each lesson, but I've done this one before and it's just so basic that I figure if we make a mistake in future lessons, we can use an extra page. So we're basically saving a page here in case of future mistakes. It's actually not too small. Oh, like it must look very different on camera because this is tiny. This is very tiny. Okay. Well, then I'm glad it's close enough that you can see it and it doesn't look tiny. Like, look, that's tiny. Look at my finger. That's how tiny it is. It's like the size of my thumb. Okay. Since their tennis balls, the size is appropriate. Well, these are not the tennis balls yet. I'm going to do them bigger, and I'm going to do them over here. Which is basically the same thing, but this is... I'm just following the... I guess I could technically turn these two into the tennis balls that is going to want me to do later, but I'm just following exactly what the book says, and we're just learning how to do the two balls together first, and then I'll draw the tennis balls. So I'm going to make a little bit darker down here. And we'll do the shadow from both of the balls. Because the light source is still coming from up here. Okay. Gonna make the lens a little sharper, just so you can see that that's shadow in between those two. So you can differentiate between the shadow work and the actual sphere. Just don't like to go too dark at first in case I make a mistake and I want to erase. But then we can go a little darker once we're comfortable with what we've done. See, like, I could have just been done with this, and it's done. I did what the book says, but I'm taking my time to just make it really sharp and nice, because no matter what you're drawing, so this is a lesson for me and not the book, something I've learned in my journey as an artist. The more time you put into a piece, for the most part, not always. Here, I'll give you 2 lessons. This is a sometimes situation, not always, okay? But it just comes more when it comes to detail. The more details that you put and you work towards a drawing, the better it'll look. So the more time I put into the shadow work and to like making the sharp lines and like be more meticulous with it, the better it'll look. Like you can already see that this looks so much better than the first one that I did, because I made sure to do the lines a lot darker and sharper so you can see it better. But like I said, it doesn't always apply, because something that I've also learned, because I am a self-taught artist, but I also, like Daniel mentioned earlier, that he has followed other YouTubers where he's learned stuff from. I've definitely done that. Like, I love watching other artists create. And something that I learned from an artist, I don't know who, I wish I could so I could tell you who, but it was a long time ago, where they were talking about practicing. And so if you're just learning and you want to get better, and you do one drawing and you spend too much on that one drawing, you're not learning as much if you spend too much time on one drawing. If you want to get better, it's better to do a lot of drawings, even if they're bad. So like one of the examples that I saw in the thing was like doing scribble work, like using a pen so you can't erase. That's a good tactic for you to learn. So just drawing like maybe a horse or a cat or something, just drawing it really, really quick, doing it with a pen, and then doing it again, and then again, and then again, and then doing like a whole bunch of like the same drawing. You're more likely to learn doing lots of little crappy drawings than you're trying to make one drawing perfect. Does that make sense? But when it comes to just like making one drawing like more detailed and better, yeah, the more time you spend on the one drawing, the better it'll look. But if you're going for learning, it's better to do lots of drawings. Does that make sense? So that's my lesson from what I've learned. Okay, I think now we can go into the tennis ball. Honestly, feel like today's lesson is so short that I'm kind of sad that we're almost done. I wasn't expecting for today to be this short. Like, I knew I was going to do more than one lesson because I knew the first one would be just that one simple sphere. I even forgot about the apple. But it doesn't take as long either. Okay. Okay, sorry, I missed some of the stuff you've said. Depending on what happens, I may or may not stream this Friday at 4 p.m. Any chance you may perhaps be able to join if I go live then? I'll have to see on Friday at 4. Is 4 p.m. like Like PDT, like your time? I'll have to see because Fridays are busy for me and Fridays are my workout day. But 4 I might be able to. How long do you usually do your lives for? If I'm free, I'll join for sure. Okay, we're gonna leave that there. I'm happy with how it turned out. That's a very nice set of balls. So now we're gonna do our tennis balls. Just looking at the book, I love how like it gives other drawing examples. Like in the book it has a drawing by one of the students that they did, and it's egg carton, and you can see all the eggs she drew and they look really nice. It's pretty cool. Love it. Okay, so now we're going to do tennis ball. It says, now that you have conquered drawing spheres, try placing 2 tennis balls on the table in front of you, overlapping. Draw what you see and make sure to notice the object's placement, shadows, and shading. I don't have tennis balls, so I'm just gonna use the drawing, the picture on the book as my reference. So this is my reference. I usually go for like 30 minutes max lately. May have streamed for an hour one time. Okay, I'll try and see. I'll hopefully I'll remember. I'll look once we're done this live stream, and hopefully I remember to check. If you're still here towards the end, maybe just remind me and I'll have to check what I have going on Friday. Oh, I can't drink my smoothie. Something stuck in the straw. I'm so sorry about the noise. I wish I could mute it while I drink. I don't know how to mute it. Did those 2 balls really work? It looks like the first one is floating in bed. Okay. Maybe more shadow? Is that better? What are you going to be doing in your live stream on Friday? Okay. Now the tennis balls. Let's see how big can we make them. So a little wonky. It's harder to make good spheres when they're bigger. Okay. Okay. I think that's good size. Now we're gonna do the second tennis ball. So we're gonna start it maybe a little over here and not as low as the sphere. Okay, so from the drawing that I'm seeing, so it'll start somewhere here, maybe end somewhere here. Like that. Maybe that's a little too far. I don't know, it's looking weird. Just trying to look at the picture of the two tennis balls, trying to get it in the right position. Okay, that's looking way better. It's harder than I thought it was gonna be. Daniel says, I ran into a dilemma. I've got a Comic Con to go on April 19th, a few days after my birthday, but since I already have a diploma, I've been wanting to get a job. What's the diploma? I mean, sorry, what's the dilemma? Like, do you already have tickets to Comic Con? Like, because if the dilemma is like either go to Comic Con or get a job, it's like a job. Like, if you want a job, you can start applying. But if you don't have the job by the time the 19th hits, then you can go to Comic Con. But if you have the job, then you just go work. No? Unless, like, it won't work because you have to get the tickets in advance. And once you have the tickets, you have to go. So maybe you just want to wait till after Comic Con to start applying for work. I don't know. Because that's still a month from now. So maybe you might want to get a job sooner. I don't know. That is a dilemma. Okay. I think I'm gonna start shading now. I think I'm okay with how it's looking. Because that one's supposed to be smaller because it's a little farther away anyways. I think this one I might have made it too big. Forgot to focus on that. So yeah, I think we are going to start shading now. And so we're gonna do the lines. Maybe shade it a little more just to make it a little. Okay. Monster WB says this is quite a challenge. Yeah, it is a bit. It starts to get harder and harder from now on. The easiest was the first sphere, and then the next lessons and the next live streams is going to be harder and harder and harder. So it's going to take much, much longer for sure. Daniel says, but if I get one before then I will have to either miss out on Comic Con or call in sick to not miss out, which wouldn't look good for a guy who just got employed. Yeah, I would not call in sick to a job you just got. Maybe it's best that I wait until after the event is over. The dilemma goes into further detail below the message you read. My brother got the tickets already. I don't love the idea of waiting a month to apply, so I must decide. Okay. We already have the tickets. Well, I don't know what I would do. You don't have to do this, but this is what I would do. I would still apply to jobs. I'll start applying because sometimes the process takes a while. Like first they have to like go through resumes and that might take some time. And then you have to do the interview, and then after the interview, then you have your start date. Or you sign paper depending on the kind of job you start the day. You start the job. But what I would do is that in my experience, okay, hold on, let me do this line first. There's a line here for the tennis ball, and then there's one here. Okay. My experience is that when you are in an interview or once you get the job, probably better once you get the job because this might actually affect your chances at getting the job. But once you have the job, you can let them know, like if they tell you, okay, when can you start? You tell them when you can start and your availability. And then just tell them like I'm available and like I'm flexible to work the days and I have nothing coming up except you tell them the date. You tell them the only thing is that like if it's okay, I would really just request just one day off because I already have tickets to an event that my brother is taking me for my birthday. But other than that, I'm completely available with like the schedule I have given you or whatever. So that's what I would do. I would just be honest and I just tell them like I have an event on this date. So it's just that one day that I wouldn't be able to work, but I can either do hours on another day. Like, cause that's the thing, you don't really know what your schedule's gonna be like. Like if you're trying to get employed for like a full-time job, then yeah, I would just tell them like I can do full-time. There's just like this one day in April that I would need off because I already have tickets for this. But other than that, I'm like I'm not gonna request any more days off. I don't have anything else coming up. But if you're just looking for a part-time job, then it's gonna be way easier to get that time off because what are the odds that you're booked for April 19th anyways? And if it's a part-time job, then you can just literally work on a different day. You can still do the same amount of hours that they want you to do, just not on the 19th. You tell them, yeah, I'm available and I can do those amount of hours on that week, except as long as it's not April 19th. And if it's like one of those like part-time retail jobs, they tend to be pretty flexible because they do the schedules like ahead of time, like a week or two, and then you can just request days off. Or if by the time April 19th comes and you've already worked enough days, you could always just exchange shifts with another employee. Like the options are there, you know what I mean? So you don't have to completely give up on the idea of not applying till then because that's a month away. So you're putting it off for a long time. And if you want to start working semi-soon, then it'll probably be better if you just start applying now. And you can just kind of work around it and make both things work. You can still get a job and you can still go to Comic-Con. Sometimes it's not about either or, it's just about making things work. Because like I've definitely have had experiences where even just in the interview they ask me like, do you have any like trips planned in any time? Like is there any dates that you wouldn't be able to work once you start? Sometimes they specifically ask you. But if they don't ask, I don't know, I think I might just wait off till you actually get the job and then tell them, because once you have the job, you have the job. And hopefully you get a good manager that's nice and flexible, especially if it's a part-time job. Part-time jobs are just so flexible, and they have a lot of other part-timers on there, so if you can't do a date, somebody else can do it. Also, like, there's jobs nowadays that I don't know what kind of work you're looking for, but there's a lot of work out there that it's remote, so it's even more flexible. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of shadow on here. And then we've got some shadows here. Okay, so I'm seeing that this shadow over here, the farther one is a little bit more elongated in my reference. So I'm just gonna make sure it's a little bit, it's not as circular. As the one in front. And then I'm just mostly drawing close to the ball since I am blending it. The cotton is going to spread it anyway, so I don't need to add any pencil up here, because I can just do that and then move it up. Okay. That's actually a smart idea. Thank you for the suggestion. You're welcome. Daniel says time is the currency no human can buy. So true. That's very, very true. Time is money. And time is valuable. There you go. I think this is good for now. And then let's just keep working on the ball. So I'm gonna do the lines a little more like circular because the tennis ball has a texture. And I want to see if I can get a little bit of texture on it. Okay, let's first blend it. love blending. I think it's so fun to see like how everything changes. I think that's why it's one of the reasons why I freaking love working with charcoal. Maybe I'll do a charcoal piece during a live stream in a few weeks. In between these lessons, maybe I'll use some of the lessons I've been learning and make a drawing with charcoal. Charcoal is so fun. Okay, let's use this pen that's a little sharper to make that line appear more. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. So this one needs a little bit of shadow as well. Daniel says, good thing I finished upgrading my suit way ahead of time. I'm just waiting to receive my face shell for my mask. What's your suit? What are you dressing up as? A bit darker here. Should have done this a little bit more this way so you can see the shape of the ball. That looks a little bit better. Okay, I like that. Okay. Gonna do this. And there's more light hitting it this way, so I'm trying to avoid doing anything on this side. So this side's gonna be basically white, and then I'm adding all of the shadow work on this side because this is behind the light. So the light source is coming from over here. So the top will stay mostly white, and then this side should be the whitest, whitest, and darkest on this side. And then the shadow. Shadow. This shadow is a little bit more round than the other one from the reference that I'm looking at, so I'm just trying to make it more round. Okay, Daniel says, I hope someone hires me because I've seen the struggle people face here in the United States when seeking a job. The job market is a disaster as it stands. I hear you. There's some differences in depending the country you're in, but the struggle is real in most places right now, I feel. I remember when I went to visit Colombia back in September that I was hearing about people saying how bad the food prices had been, how everything was going up and this and that. And then I realized that a lot of things that I was hearing about people complain were the exact same things people are complaining about in Canada. And the exact same things that people are complaining about in Canada are the exact same things people are complaining about in the States. So obviously everywhere is different and it affects everyone in a different way and obviously at a different percentage, but it's very surprising how similar experiences we're all having right now. And we think that it's most only affecting where we are, but it's affecting everywhere. And so yeah, you're totally right. The struggle is real out there. But the way I see it, I know that this might be controversy and not everyone will completely agree. Like there's the whole debate about like whether AI is positive or negative and stuff like that. And so where I stand is that I think like everything, absolutely everything in life has the potential to be positive and negative. And so just the same with AI. Obviously, it depends on who is using it and what it's being used for. It can be negative and positive, and a lot of people I know are very upset that technology is advancing so quick that people are losing their jobs. And we can totally focus on that, but I choose to focus on the fact that it can also be an opportunity. It can be an opportunity for people to not do tedious work, to do unfulfilling work. It's also allowing people nowadays to ask for more. People are not as lenient, and they're not as willing to like accept whatever they get at work. Like people are asking for more rights and more benefits and more things out of their work. People are not sticking in one job for 40 years like they used to back in the day. If we compare to how things used to be, I feel like things are a lot better than some people think they are. And it's also like this New Age is allowing the opportunity for a lot of people to become entrepreneurs. Whereas, like in the past, so many people couldn't have fathomed the idea of actually having their own businesses. Like it was only for those special people, and now more people are having the opportunity to do things that only a very few were able to in the past. And I think that comes with like the struggle right now. Like things do suck and things are changing all the time, and but there's always something positive out of it. And more things are coming out of it. And so like I'm actually currently reading. I'm struggling with like there's a line here that I don't know how it formed, and it's making it look like the tennis ball has a dent. So I think I'm gonna have to make this darker because I don't like that. Like it looks, I don't know what happened here. Here, I'll just make it darker because I tried erasing it and it didn't work. It's gone too dark. Yeah, there you go. Going darker is helping. Okay, so I'm reading a series of books on the Roman Empire. And I think I'm on the second book right now. And to me, it's just like outstanding, like how things used to be. And like, but I think one of the biggest things that I am learning about history and how things used to be is that sometimes for some reason as humans, we think that progress should be linear and we should just keep going up and up, and things should only be getting better and better and better. And you know, and idealistic, it should. We want things to be better and better and better. Like, if we were to make that choice ourselves, that's what we would want. But when you look at the history books and you see how the world has evolved, it actually hasn't always been that way. And progress hasn't always worked that way. We don't just improve and improve and improve. Unfortunately, we take steps back. Some governments progress, and then new governments come in and go backwards. And so I think that the best thing that we can do as humans is learn to adapt and look at the positive things and find the opportunities in the chaos. Anyways, I'm going on a ramble here. Let's see what you guys have said. April 19th is the event, but my birthday actually falls on the 14th. My suit is the black suit from Spider-Man 3. I added puff paint on the whole suit for movie accurate texture. How cool. I'd love to see it. Monster WB says, I love them balls. Wowzer is nice. Thank you. Daniel says, I don't even know why inflation only keeps rising. What benefits could this possibly bring to the economy? And Monster W says, things should get better. That is important. Yeah, I agree. And things do get better. But the way that the cycle works is that for things to get better, we need to learn. And unfortunately, history has told us that humans don't always learn. And in the history books, things haven't always just progressed. Sometimes we go back and then we progress. Sometimes they go back and we progress. But if you also look at the history books, we have progressed a lot in a lot of ways. So we're still progressing. We just don't progress in a linear way. It would be ideal, of course, but humans are growing its population so drastically that it's really hard to keep a whole population of 8 billion species on the same page. So it also gets harder. But it's not impossible. And progress is always there, no matter where you look. Like, that's one of the reasons why, for example, I don't really watch the news very often. I'll like maybe try to keep up with like the main stuff, but I don't really watch the news. One, because I read a lot about psychology and the brain and neuroscientists, and most of the neuroscientists that I follow, they themselves talk about that the fact that they don't watch the news and how bad it is for your brain. But also, the thing is, like, yeah, it's good to be informed about the problem, but the problem is that humans tend to just stay on the problem. They just think about the problem, and thinking about a problem isn't gonna fix the problem. It's like acknowledge the problem, then move on and find a solution. And so that's what I kind of like to put my focus on, instead of just watching the news and focusing on all the problems and all the bad things that are happening in the world. Instead, I like to watch documentaries. I like to see what people are actually doing to make a difference. I like to see what new inventions people are coming up with to be more sustainable. I like to see what people are doing to make a difference. I think that's so much more hopeful than just watching the news all the time and seeing what's wrong with the world. Instead, I just see what people are doing about it. Okay, so I think we're almost done here. Unfortunately, I wasn't trying to go as dark as I have gone, but for whatever reason, there's like a dent there. I don't know if it's, I don't know. So I needed to make it darker so it doesn't look like there's a dent in our ball. But you know what? The darker it is, it just basically just seems like it's in a dark room with a bright light shining on it. Daniel says, as humans are our own worst enemies sometimes, and the ultimate self-sabotagers. We can be, but humans can also be pretty amazing. We can be very smart and creative and kind. If we learn how to do self-love, we can also be our own best friend instead of our own worst enemy. Monster WB says, I think it works fine. Thank you. I think it's working too. I think it looks good. Maybe a little bit of shadow up here because this is still the back. But yeah, I think we're basically reaching the end of this live stream because this is the end of the lesson. Hopefully you guys learned along with me. I don't know if anybody was also doing this as well. And if you don't have the book yet but you want to get it so you can do the lessons with me, there's still time. Because we're not going to do it every single Wednesday, but like every few Wednesdays. Next Wednesday we will for sure. And then the Wednesday after that, we'll see if we switch it up, and then we'll go back to this. Monster WB says it worked fine. Very wonderful. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna make this line a little sharper so we can see where the ball ends and the shadow begins. Although you don't have to, like the shadows can make the lines disappear. Basically in the reference that I'm looking at, you can almost not see the edge of the ball because it's so dark. Daniel says I have. Awesome. Thank you. It's nice to do this along with other people as well. Okay, I'm just gonna do a little bit more just to make it dark. Because I think you guys can see this, like this line right here. I don't know how that happened. And that makes it look like the ball has a dent. Maybe let's do the texture thing, and now that I think we're done, we'll go with texture. Because the tennis ball is a little fuzzy. So I'm just trying a little. Okay, so that's nice. It adds a little texture to it. You can see that's a little bit fuzzy. I'll go a little bit lighter over here. Daniel says this was an entertaining stream. Thank you. I love that feedback. I felt like when I was doing the coloring one, it wasn't as entertaining. It might just not be that fun to watch coloring, but I had a feeling the drawing ones might be more fun to watch. Because you see the process. So, thank you for that. Okay, can you guys see the texture? I don't know if you see it on camera. I can see it here. I like it. I like how it turned out. I think we did good work today, you guys. And if you guys did work on it, I don't know if Mustard WB have, if you worked on it, I don't know if you did, but if you did, feel free to send the photo on our Patreon. Share it with the others. I'll be sharing this on the Patreon as well. My hope is that one day when we have enough people on Patreon, that I can do special live streams just for people on Patreon. So, if you guys are not on Patreon, I encourage you to. But it's still a while for that to happen. For now, I'm just going to do live streams on YouTube, and then we'll see from there. Okay. Let's blend the shadow out. Nice. In the book, like the shadow is almost touching each other, but not all of it. The Monster WB says, "Wowzer." Daniel says, I may make dinner later, but after a stream. What are you gonna make for dinner? I'm getting pretty hungry myself. I'm gonna eat right after this as well. I had a smoothie that I made for myself so I could drink while doing this, but I get too hyper focused. And the I think one of the fruit got stuck in the straw, and I can't really drink out of the straw, so I have to open the lid. So it's a whole thing. But I'll finish drinking that with probably dinner after I'm done this as well. Daniel says very realistic. Thank you. I'm very happy with how it turned out. Honestly, I think today was good. Basic, simple, but good. Daniel says, I've noticed that streaming on YouTube brings in more subscribers. I'm turning 20 years old on the 14th. On that day, I can kiss my teenage years goodbye. Just some cereal, nothing special. You're having cereal for dinner. That's not dinner. That's like a snack. You should have something more filling and healthy. Here I am scolding you. The mom personality is coming out. Okay, so I think this is it, you guys. We did it. I think this was pretty good for first learning how to draw a live stream. I liked how it turned out. We definitely got a little bit better. We added more color, got a little darker, got more sharp, because these are pretty faded and light, because I was scared to go too dark, I guess. Sharper, more texture, more realistic. I think we did good. This is what happens when I don't have creative ideas for dinner. Well, that's what the internet is for. You sound like a mother, yeah. I'm not, though. I'm not a mother. I don't plan on having kids, but I do plan on being a great auntie and being like a mother figure to other people. So I know that I have that mother thing in me. It's just meant for others, not for my own kids, because I don't plan on having any myself. So I get that mother from within that comes out. To I guess maybe you guys. So this is what we have. We got a sphere. We've got our apple. We've got our 2 spheres. And we've got our tennis ball. From this side, since the shadow is going that way. I think we did good. Right? Okay. So we're gonna say our goodbyes. So we can all go eat. Hopefully something more fulfilling than a cereal. Hint, hint, Daniel. Okay. I don't typically eat heavily near nighttime. Okay, so that makes sense, and that's smart. That's smart. I guess I was assuming for whatever reason that you were in the same time zone as me. So if it's not, because you said dinner. So dinner is a bigger meal, but But yeah, if it's a night snack, then I approve. My night snack is usually a parfait. I like to make, I have some frozen fruit and I mix that with some like granola and like honey cereal with some other granola, and what else do I add to it? Oh, almonds. And sometimes I sprinkle a little bit of crackers, either toppables or the Ritz. I don't know what they're called, Ritz. The Ritz crackers. That's my night snack. But I don't eat anything after 9, so I think it's good not to eat too much late and like too close to bedtime. It's good to stop eating like 2 or 3 hours before you go to sleep. So yeah. Daniel says I usually eat cream of wheat for dinner as well. Cream of wheat. I don't know what that is. I too shall not experience what it's like to be a parent in this life. I don't wish to bring kids into this world. They deserve the best. Makes sense. Monster WB says bye all. Goodbye. Daniel says thanks for the scolding. Sounds more nutritious for the body. Yeah. The reason I don't want to have kids is because I have a lot of dreams. I have a lot of things that I want to do in my life, and so I feel like with everything that I want to do in my life, I wouldn't have the time and energy that a kid requires, and I don't want to be a bad parent. I don't want to give my half to a kid. I should be able to give it my all. And a lot of people dream of being a parent and wanting to be a parent, and that's great, and I think people should do it if they really want to and they have the means to. But if you don't want to, you shouldn't. A lot of people are so pressured to, especially women, because motherhood is like the thing to live for. But I think that I can have a motherhood by being a great auntie and being a mother figure to people, like online. I feel like when I'm older, maybe in like my 50s or 60s or 70s, like when I'm much, much older, in my 80s, 90s, maybe if I hit the hundreds, like I want to be that like wise old woman that kids can look up to and can learn from. So I have a whole like mindset surrounding that. But anyways, next week we're doing lesson 3, which is called Advanced Level Spheres. So it's going to be lesson 3. I will read it before the live stream so that I don't have to pause and read it during the live stream. And it's easier for you guys to follow along when I know what I'm doing, because I didn't read this stuff today. But I had done it before, like I mentioned before, so I felt like it wasn't that hard to follow without reading the stuff. I did skim through it. Daniel says, I understand that, and no one should feel pressured to do something they don't want to. Totally agree. So yeah, so this is our result for today. I am genuinely very happy about it, and I think this is a great first page. And I am super excited to do the whole book and then like go through all of the pages and see all the different stuff that we're going to draw. Like I'm really, really excited now, because if we can make balls look good, then we're on the right track. We're on the right track. Got some good looking balls and apples up in here. Okay. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Daniel, for keeping the conversation going and making the conversation interesting, for sharing with me, for letting me get to know you, and for asking me questions, and for sticking around through the whole live stream. I think that's really awesome of you. I hope that you're around for the next live stream. And if not, that's okay. No pressure. Don't ever feel pressure. Only if you're available. I'm doing this every Wednesday at the same time, 2 p.m. PDT, and then I will occasionally do Saturdays with my mom to do more of the cooking stuff. But I have to plan that maybe next month. We'll see. Maybe we can do one a month, or we'll see. I don't know that. I don't want to make any promises. Daniel says, there's a bit I wish to say about the future, but I can't now. Thank you for streaming. It was great. My pleasure. And Monster WB says, I will be here. Yay. Thank you. And I hope so too, says Daniel. Awesome. So thank you guys. I'm like kind of sad to close it off. I think it lasted like over an hour. Yeah, it was over an hour and a half. So not too bad. Not too bad. I guess I'm just getting kind of used to going over like the 2 hours now on my live streams, but I think those are pretty long anyways. And I also just really enjoy drawing, so I guess I kind of wanted to keep going. So I think that for now we're gonna stop it there, and then on my own free time I'm gonna start coloring. And I actually already have a coloring page that I have ready that I want to color in my coloring book, so I'm gonna be doing this offline. Maybe we'll finish it in a live stream eventually, or maybe I'll finish it offline. I don't know, but I'm gonna keep coloring on my own, even though I'm not always going to be doing those live streams, and I will be posting those on Patreon as well for anybody that wants to see that. So yeah, thank you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I will chat with you guys again next Wednesday. Daniel says, God willing, I shall be here again. Wouldn't miss it. Thank you. Bye guys.